The purpose of this teaching tonight, there are 5 areas of responsibility that light must take. Number 1 is illumination. Because every light must illuminate. So if you are light, you must learn how to illuminate. And illumination is simple. Illumination speaks of wisdom and leadership. So anybody who wants to be an unstoppable generation, when you get anywhere, you must learn the principles of being in front. Don't be comfortable at the back. Don't be comfortable being the tail. There are many people, they have the orientation of not taking responsibility. Let others take the responsibility and they call it enjoyment. So they never give. They are always expecting to receive. They never do anything. They are expecting somebody else to do it. You will never shine like that. Take the initiative to lead the people. And the way to do it is to look at Christ, because he's the ultimate leader. I told you already when I started, the moon does not really have light in itself. The reason the moon shines is because the moon is always connected to the sun. And so the responsibility of illumination is called intimacy. If you don't get an intimate relationship with God, you can't shine God's wisdom and you can't bring God's leadership. Anybody who wants to be unstoppable must shine. And for you to shine, you must take the responsibility of illumination, because God came to illuminate you. That's why John 1:9 said, he is the light that lighted every man that cometh into the world. He came to illuminate you, but he cannot illuminate you unless there is intimacy. And so the first responsibility of shining is called intimacy. If you don't have a vital relationship with God, believe me, sir, we can pour a drum of oil on your head, you will end up a failure. You will be at the back. You will go nowhere, because there are certain things that won't happen to you until God speaks to your heart. Go and read your Bible. Go and check your Bible. Abraham, the first man that God really gave the covenant of taking the whole world, God transferred the blessing to Isaac, but Isaac needed his own encounter. Isaac transferred the blessing to Jacob, but Jacob needed his own encounter. We lay hands on you is a blessing. We prophesy to you is a blessing. But if you don't have a relationship with God, you will still fail. This charge, give ID Timothy. That was Paul talking. If you see Paul in a vision now, you will be so excited. You will tell yourself and tell the world you have received the mantle of Paul. But this was Paul, who was working with Timothy on a daily basis. He said, this charge I give you, Timothy, that you fan to flame the gift of God that is in you through the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. We have laid hands on you, but you need your own intimacy to keep your own fire burning. This is the problem of our generation. People are fighting to remove buttons from the suit of men of God, but they have no relationship with God. People can travel for weeks to go and wait for a man of God to see them, but their Bibles are dusty, their altars are ashes, and they think they will be light. You are only illuminated you are only shining to the degree that you are illuminated. And for you to be illuminated, you need intimacy. I have my own altar. You must have your own altar. I shine from my altar. You will shine from your own altar. If you don't have intimacy, you will never shine. Number 2, responsibility of light is in the area of influence and dominion. The Bible said in Matthew 5:14, it said you are the light of the world. But for you to act and to function as light of the world, you must have a walk. It said, let your light so shine among men. How do you let it? That they may see your good works. Then they glorify your Father. And so the second thing you must do is responsibility for relevance. is responsibility for influence, is responsibility for dominion, and that responsibility is tied to your service, is tied to the works of your hands. Many believers are doing nothing, but they are expecting that the grace of God will lift them up. And even when you commit something to their trust, they have 1,001 excuses why it was not done well. I am shocked. Sometimes you tell people, somebody says he's looking for a job, sweep the floor. He will sweep it 3 times, it will still not be clean. They don't have anything doing, but the little one God puts in their hands, they don't do it well. Meanwhile, their rising is tied to faithfulness. There's nobody God carries from the bottom to the top without giving something to do. In Luke 16, 10 and 12, it says, if you are not faithful in little, you can never be faithful in much. So forget dominion. Forget influence. You find somebody doing something, he said, this is what I do for a living. And then you look at him for 5 minutes without any thorough vetting. You see 1,001 errors. And then you are wondering. Recently we were working on a facility and they brought a painter to paint it. I looked at the wall that the guy claimed he screeded. I said, is this screeding? He's screeded and painted. If you see the edges of the wall, you can see the contours like S. Because even the paint could not be on a straight line. Now that kind of person may be sowing prophetic seed. He will be attending conferences like this and struggling for man of God to speak over his business, to lay hands on him. If a king employs you and you do that job, you will either bring the money back or they will arrest you. Because when kings come, is the brightness of your rising they come to. You are working with your hand. This is the best you can produce. No, you are not yet ready for destiny. The Arab guys have three principles. Speed, excellence, and affordability. You must be able to do it the cheapest way, yet not compromise on excellence or compromise on speed. And everything you do must be innovative. If they come and see you do something that they have seen before, it means you are not the guy for the job. Everything you do, there must be creativity. So dominion is not a gift. Even if it is proclaimed over you, you must do something. God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, to have dominion. So the second area of contention is in the area of finding something to do and being the best at it. I'm talking illumination. Look around your world today. How are men shining? They are not shining through their faces. They are shining through the excellent products that they supply to men. This microphone I'm using is a brand of a company. When you say Shure microphone, it is known globally. That is called shining. Even the clothes we wear, there are those who have become billionaires from clothes. They are known globally. People will travel from here to the Western world to buy t-shirts. Meanwhile, we have too many t-shirts in Alaba market. How many of you go there to buy, to wear for relevant events? But you wear, you want to show the logo. Because they have learned how to perfect what they have. You must learn this truth as a believer. Listen, prayer is not just about charging and sweating. When our fathers prayed, they saw things. Noah prayed and created an ark. There was something he did that the whole world depended on. He prayed and created the whole dimensions of an ark. Moses prayed and built a tabernacle. When you pray, when you engage God, there is creativity in you that should be awoken. It said in Jeremiah 33 verse 3, ask of me, I will answer. But I don't only answer, I will show you great and mighty things that you know not. So cutting edge intelligence should actually come from our intimacy. That is how we shine. We don't see, we need to understand it. Sometimes we become too religious and we parade rituals without tangible solutions and results that will command the attention of the world. I believe in transformation. I believe in holiness. I believe in character development. But that's not all God does. Because when you read the Bible, you will find men who had the same prayer altars that we have and came up with intelligent civilizations that shook their world. How did Abraham understood the principle of cattle rearing? How did Isaac understand the principle of irrigation? How did they know those things? These were deep agriculturists. How did they master those principles? They worked with God, yet they excelled as agriculturists. So you must have works that your life commands, both in the physical and in the supernatural. But the problem with us is we have not even perfected the physical. How much more the supernatural? That's why in our generation, when a doctor shakes his head like this, everybody in the family begins to prepare for burial. There's nobody who has understood healing and say, no, the doctor's verdict is not the absolute verdict. I know something from the spirit realm that I can do to stop this infirmity. This is why when government fails, a whole race can be wiped out because of hunger. Nobody has understood anything from God and say, no, I can preserve these people. What did Moses know in the wilderness? Because there is a place for sowing and reaping. There's another place where you need manna to come down. There's another place where you need bread to be multiplied. So it begins with natural principles, then it gets to supernatural principles. But the question is, if we have not perfected the natural principles that does not really need God, how much more the supernatural? A shining generation must rise. And that rising is around the works of your hand, both in the natural and in the supernatural. Believe me, you will be unstoppable when you have weapons on your right and weapons on your left. When they come out on Monday morning, you are a captain there. From Monday to Friday, you are dictating things. And then when you get back from work, you are also shifting things in the heavenly realms. You are shaking things in the heavenly realm. This is the calling of the believer. This is the believer that truly shines. He has walks in the spirit and he has walks in the natural.